Hello and welcome to Peace Talk, PlanetSide 2 podcast. Tonight we have our special guest, Adam Clegg, PlanetSide 2 level designer at Sony Online Entertainment. First off, we're going to introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit about the show, and then we'll get into it. I'm Hax, your host. Outfit Nagural Industries, a new outfit for PlanetSide 2. Been playing PlanetSide 2 on and off since 2003. Lauren?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I'm a representative of the Terran Republic, the glorious Terran Republic, and the most excellent outfit, the Enclave.
I'm Red Knights. I've been playing with Ghost of the Revolution for quite a few years, and I've been playing PlanetSide 2 for 8. And Adam, want to introduce yourself really quick?
Sure. Hi, I'm Clegg. I am a PlanetSide 2 level designer working on PlanetSide 2, and I'm glad that you guys had me as a guest. Thank you.
Hey, well, welcome everyone. We're going to be covering a variety of topics here on Peace Talk. We're typically going to go on a given week through current events, and then we're going to check out sort of the community pulse, see what people are thinking. And then normally we will talk about all sorts of game-related stuff, but since there's an NDA related right now, and where we can't really talk about it, so there's nothing to talk about on that front. So we're going to go on and focus more on current events and community pulse and interviews with awesome guests like Adam. We're really grateful you can come on with us today.
No problem.
So first up, we want to talk about this awesome cinematic that was just released like 30 minutes ago. So Adam, you want to talk about maybe a little bit about the background of this great video?
Yeah, so this trailer, we've been waiting to release this trailer for a long time, and I'm glad that it's finally here because I've been wanting everyone to see it for a really long time, so the whole team has. And I mean, as you guys saw, if you haven't seen it, you have to check it out after this, but if you haven't seen it yet, it's awesome.
We're going to show it real quick.
Okay, cool. Well, there you go.
So we'll show it, and then we'll talk about it. So here we go.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Whatever gods once were have long forsaken this place. There's no death to free you from this war. No glory waits for you in the afterlife. Here, we have just your steel. Your will to endure another day. Who's right? Only who's left?
Sony.
All right, as you can see, there was perhaps a little bit of lag there. I encourage everyone to go and take a look at the full resolution of it. No lag on the PlanetSide 2 official YouTube, youtube.com/PlanetSide2. So let's start off. What's everyone's favorite part of that? I mean, you're awesome and dominated that video.
I like the part where NC dominates everybody, and then I don't like the end.
I like the end a lot. Just saying.
There's millions of TR crying out in pain at the end of that one.
Wait, you don't like it? Why?
Actually, it's okay because now all the noobs are dead, except they're all going to
Yeah.
respawn again. But
Make room for the real TR. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. They just haven't arrived at the fight yet.
Yeah, in all seriousness, my favorite part, I like just the look on his face after he gets stabbed by the VS infiltrator. Like, what have I done? Like, I just told my whole squad to come in here, and it's too late. They're all gonna die. You know, that part was really cool. I thought it just shows
wow.
like he didn't know they were all in there, and he places that thing down, and it's a beacon of light to tell all of his guys to spawn on him, and then he just gets stabbed. He's like, no, my God. So I think that was like my favorite part, actually.
It's amazing, like what they can do to with animation, how they can capture human emotions like that.
Yeah.
Voice acting was pretty top notch too. I did love that narrator, whoever it was.
No, they did a really good job. I'm not sure who narrated it, but it was done by Blur. If you guys don't know that yet, I'm sure they'll announce it. But they always do an excellent job. They did an excellent job with our DCUO trailer. They just always do good work. So.
Yep, for sure.
I heard something about a one shot too.
What
was that?
Like everything post Galaxy was
Oh
a
yeah,
one shot?
yeah. So if you guys watch it again, after he jumps off the cliff, the light assault guys jump off the cliff, they never break away the shot again. It's all one shot, and that's something that they were really wanting to do, and like a challenge they wanted from making this trailer for us. So when you watch it again, they don't break away again until the very end when the galaxy crashes.
Yeah, I really like the whole the seriousness of the whole thing and how grim it was and how there was this big struggle. I think they did a great job capturing the emotion of Planetside and the faction hatred pretty good. I mean, you just really hate the VS at the end. How they just stab the guy and they're just like looking at him like, what?
Yeah, I didn't think, just me personally, I didn't know how they were going to show the scale, because I'm like, I've never seen a trailer with this much action show that many people. And when I saw the final version of it, I was so excited just to see just the massive battle of people everywhere. And, it's like, yep, that's what we're trying to show here. Like thousands of players all fighting against each other.
Yeah.
They really tried to plug it at the end there, because there's tons of tanks, tons of Vanu galaxies lined up. It's a beautiful sight.
For sure.
Scary sight.
I also really liked how the galaxy, which is it's the icon of Planetside 1. It was really the thing I think everyone relates to. Is very prominently featured in that video, and that's just something that kind of jumped out at me. It really helps show the scale. Like they showed the unfortunate galaxy full of some very fine TR soldiers, all lined up, ready to go, ready to kick some ass, and that's pretty much what Planetside is all about.
Absolutely. It's going to be crazy.
So, is there anything you can tell us, Adam, about the sort of how this story was crafted with the cinematic?
I know early on, they asked a lot of us just what we kind of wanted to do with it, and everybody kind of gave in their feedback. I think once we decided, we definitely wanted it to be just kind of like one guy's path through his journey in a battle type of thing. I think they just ran with it from there. But there wasn't very much talking about it. I mean, we were so early on. We had that thing planned a long, long time ago. So although there was some team input, but most of it was once they had their main idea, we kind of just let Blur do what they do, and then they sent it back to us. And we would make tweaks here and there, but yeah.
Yeah, they have a very good track record as far as game cinematics go.
Yeah,
They-
there was a couple of ideas thrown around. I remember one idea was, should we start with an empire and then go into another empire and then go into another empire type of thing? I know Higby wanted to be like, oh, he's in the Reaver, and then it zooms into the guy in the mech suit, and then it goes into but then I think that kind of got a little complicated, and it was a better shot to just show one guy fighting through the battlefield.
Yeah, so it's the kind of experience that we all have when we play PlanetSide. So I think that was a good call.
Yeah.
I can't say that I've ever been like swinging around on a Galaxy's mid-flight though. Not an experience I've had before.
So it sort of felt like a John Woo movie where he like has something against galaxies. So how many galaxies blow up in this video? Did anyone count?
Who knows?
At least 4, like just off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So speaking of galaxies, Nikolai, could you tell us about how this whole galaxy meme started with you?
So, I have this meme that I crash galaxies, and I can't fly very well, and I can't land, and it's called Clegging Up, and it started with all of the environment guys. We were playtesting our outposts on Indar, and what we would do is we would go to an outpost like Outpost 4, and they didn't have names at the time, but one of us would spawn a galaxy on one end, another one would spawn a galaxy on the other end. So we would have respawn points to just keep fighting each other until we felt the small outpost was playtested enough. And on one of the outposts, I spawn a galaxy, and it happens to be right next to these two buildings. And the galaxy just flips sideways and goes wedged right in between the two buildings. And of course, Higby's standing right there. So it happens right in front of his eyes, and he grabs his phone and he takes a picture. And before I don't even know this is happening, but he tweets, "Way to Clegg it up, Clegg! Nice landing!" And everybody thought that was funny, and it just kind of took off from there. But that's how it started.
Awesome.
That's terrific. Anyone should check out that thread in PlanetSide Universe. I think it's a Clegg thread.
It is definitely
It's full of gems.
the best thread on PlanetSide Universe, by bar none. Best thread.
Yeah, I still laugh all the time at that. Like, I'll just every once in a while I'll go to the thread, be like, "Oh, 2 more pages! Oh my god, this should be good."
There's some solid Photoshop work in that thread as well.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. So how's it feel to be the center of your own meme?
It's kind of weird. Like I always, there could be worse memes, I guess. I see people that have memes about them that are just terrible, and I remember, just being on the internet, you're surrounded by memes all the time. So I guess it's not bad. It could be way worse.
Yeah.
Okay. I think our next topic is beta dates. So I know Clegg's going to say hush hush during this time, but for what we know, the tech test is underway, and there's lots of excitement. There's a great post by Higby about the beta, sort of the beta plan on PlanetSide Universe. If you don't know about that, highly recommend you check it out.
Yeah, and also recently Smedley clarified that there's going to be 2 different tiers of veterans kind of be hinted at. There's a really good Reddit article on it. It's like subbed veterans and then veterans that were not. So it looks like there's going to be some kind of split along those lines.
And recently today he said beta might or probably will start, assuming no other things. That's not an official announcement or anything. That's Smedley tweeting, but Monday or Tuesday was what he said.
From China, by the way. He's in China right now.
Oh, is he
he's
for that?
spending,
Wow,
he's
really?
spending like $10 a tweet every single time he sends something out there.
It must be important then, unless he's got a lot of money.
It's kind of joy. I mean, that's another thing. I mean, has anyone seen that stage that D9 is making? They're all over soccer players and everything. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I'm very jealous about that stage. That stage it's about 3 times the size, at least, of our E3 stage, probably more. I mean, they have, I don't know, 60 from the pictures that I've seen, like something like 60 computers, and it's a huge stage. And at E3, we only had 12 stations. So yeah, the thing looks like it's going to be an awesome show.
I'll never forget just sitting watching CNN. All of a sudden, I see the PlanetSide 2 logo. I'm like, what? It's during a press conference for soccer.
Well, I'm really excited too that there's such a focus on marketing in China as well, because that can only help to make the game better for the rest of us too, if there's that additional revenue stream from other Chinese players.
Oh, absolutely.
And separate servers.
But one of the big things that I'm really happy about is all the marketing y'all have done with the game. Back in PlanetSide 1, 2003, I tell my friends about PlanetSide, and they'd be like, "Planet what? What are you talking about? I've never heard of that game." And now it's just all over the place.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to touch up on something about this that people don't realize is in 2003, there wasn't a lot of PC gaming marketing out there. You know, you saw stuff in magazines and maybe you saw a trailer here or there, but it's nothing like it is today where it's all over. There's TV commercials, there's internet trailers everywhere. You know, like marketing in the early 2000s. I remember flipping out when I saw a console game TV trailer back then. So it wasn't like we didn't do marketing. It just wasn't. It's just the video game industry has changed since then and now. And now it's just so much about marketing. It's about pushing your product out there. And, you know, you can see we've been stepping it up and putting a lot of the marketing team has done a really excellent job putting all that stuff out there, getting its name out.
Yeah. Now you're on random podcasts. How about that?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember like the way I found out about PlanetSide was, and this is how I guess how young I am, is I was in middle school band class, and a friend of mine had the like the insert the manual, and I was like, hey, what's that? He's like, oh, you get to shoot stuff. I fly out over the ocean, kick people out of my plane.
That was you?
No, that was my friend.
Oh, jeez. I hate that guy. That guy killed me a bunch.
There was a lot of word of mouth.
Yeah, it was definitely word of mouth for me as well. That's where I heard about it. And, I mean, I didn't have a way to pay a subscription back then either. So I bet free to play will be really good for all those middle schoolers out there as well. So.
Yeah, I wish. Oh my god, I wish I had free to play back then when I was like 12. Oh my god, I remember I got like one game a year. That was for my birthday if I was lucky. And I'm like, you better pick a good game, otherwise, you know, that's it. So, man, free to play back then would have been awesome.
Yeah,
you guys are all making me feel ancient.
I was born in 1990.
Let's not just go there. Let's let's move along. So how excited is the dev team for actually getting to beta, Adam? This is like a huge landmark for y'all.
Oh my god! Like I've been wanting people to play. I mean, I keep saying me, but like the whole team also has been wanting people to play this game for so long. I mean, you can only have so much fun with a game like this with just a dev team. You know, I remember the first time we had a company-wide playtest, and we got something like 450 people in. Everyone just like eyes wide open. They're like, "Oh my god, this is it! This is what we've been trying to do." And like, I honestly can't wait. Like, I cannot wait. I can't wait to see everybody play the game and play all of the bases we've been making all this time, and just everything. You know. So I'm personally really excited. I know the team is really stoked.
Yeah, like you're mentioning, like it's you guys have hardly even played the game in the way it's supposed to be, because I don't imagine you've had 2,000 people on one server yet, or on one continent yet. Maybe close to that now. I don't know, but that's it's going to be awesome.
Unfortunately for you, there's a lot of people who really want to help you play it, really want to help you experience that. We're all very eager, very eager. This is like the best thing in the last decade.
I know.
Well,
and for someone like me, it kills me because I'm like, I just want everybody to be in. I want everybody to play it, but
you can lobby for us. You can lobby for us all the viewers too.
Trust me, I do. We have programmers that I know are like doing all the whole tech test, and they're getting all of the research and everything, or in all of the numbers. And every single day, I'm like, hey, come on, how we doing? Are we good? No, come on, no. And I'm always bugging those guys.
Yeah, if we see one more QQ thread that I'm not in yet on PSU, I think someone's going to stab someone, and it's not going to be pretty.
You know what I'm gonna get upset about here is on Reddit. It's like every single time any of you guys tweet, it immediately goes up on Reddit. Like every time. It's like I already follow everyone on Twitter. I don't need it to be regurgitated to me on Reddit.
That's Reddit though.
Yep.
Before we go any further, there's a question I've been just dying to ask Clegg, and I'm sure that there's other people out there that want to know the answer to this question. Yes. It's a terrible, terrible, hideous question, but how do you pronounce VS? Is it Vanu, Vanu, Vanu? You know, how's it done? Tell us
I
how
think
it
it's
is.
pronounced "scared little traitors running away," something like that. I think VS stands for very scared. That's too easy, man. You set me up like hook, line, and sinker.
That's terrible coming from a noob conglomerate.
No, I've always called them Vanu. I mean, that's just me. You got to ask T-Ray. T-Ray's the king of Vanu, however you pronounce it. So, but for me personally, I just say Vanu.
All right, for the rest of this for this cast, it will be Vanu.
That'll be hard for me.
Excellent.
You'll like it.
I'll enjoy
All right, so moving on to some of the stuff that's going on in the community, and by community I mean mostly Reddit and PSU. A few topics we want to talk about, and of course Adam is welcome to chime in as much or as little as he likes. The first topic we have is drop pods, owning everything, or just owning people. Like if you watch the Total Biscuit video, he gets a great thing. And by the way, I'll take a moment to say I love the latest Total Biscuit video with the Liberator. It just shows like the classic piece of PlanetSide that is just getting with a couple buddies and just driving around or flying around in a vehicle and just having a good time. I mean, you watch that video; those guys are having a blast, just blowing stuff up and trying to land an aircraft without blowing it up and all sorts of great stuff.
That's really nice. It definitely kept the feel of PlanetSide 1 and the fact that it was definitely, I mean, there was teamwork and it felt very much like PlanetSide 1 because you were all in the same aircraft and you had no idea what you were doing.
I'm just excited that you can actually land aircraft on anything now instead of having that, like, you cannot land here thing over and over.
Yeah. But in terms of drop pods, though, Total Biscuit expressed a little bit of I guess annoyance at drop pods blowing things up. But we've been discussing it here at Peace Talk a bit about how on one hand people hated like tower camping in PS1, and well, drop pods blowing up tanks had kind of solved that problem pretty quick, or aircraft or anything like that. So it seems like a nice anti-camping tool.
It is gonna. I mean, the one thing that they've mentioned a few times is that it's going to be much more limited than we've seen in the videos because that's like, no cooldown or very low cooldown that you'd have to cert into. So hopefully that'll help limit it. Well, until the one issue though that comes up with that is after everyone's been playing for a while, everyone has that cert. So hopefully, later stages of the game that won't cause a problem. But I mean, I'm sure that's all going to be iterated upon still.
Yeah, and what you guys are seeing is stuff that we obviously still want to tune. We want people to play it and see how it feels. And I know there's some things right now that feel kind of weird. Like, it doesn't feel right that you have a galaxy and your squad guy spawns on you and then kills your galaxy, because he's spawning right on top of you. So, like, there's things like that just don't feel right. Like, they just don't make sense. So there's definitely, what you're seeing right now is there's, unfiltered gameplay, basically. So
all those galaxies blowing up in the cinematic, they were drop pods?
Yeah, by their own team. Their own team was drop podding right on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see those drop pod things like I see an infiltrator with a full squad, getting to like a really cool point or getting behind enemy lines and then telling his squad guys, okay, guys, I'm here. Are you guys ready? And they're all on the respawn screen. And then all 5 of them or 6 of them or whatever at once just all come down. And, they all start coming in like you saw in Blur trailer. What you see now is not coordinated at all. It's just players randomly doing stuff. And, I think that mechanic will get a lot better as players start using it more appropriately, and after we see how we need to tune it.
And of course, before they all drop pod in, they gather around a boomer and then detonate it so they can all respawn. Yeah. Awesome.
I don't know. I think the mechanic's awesome. In its present state, I would love to see tons of TR destroying their own galaxies.
It reminds me of Battlefield 2142. You had drop pods in that game that were very similar. You could blow up tanks and stuff with it. That was a pretty cool way to take care of camping things. I enjoyed that.
So what about seat swapping? That's another hot topic.
Oh yeah, again back to that video where you just switched to the bomb. Was it you that switched to the bomber and then impressed us quite a bit?
Yeah, that's also a hot topic internally. Trust me. So there's some. I feel bad for our some of our other designers because as soon as beta starts, they're gonna get just a wave of feedback and vehicles and classes just being right up there at the top of the most wanted things that everybody really wants to do. I would put like classes first, vehicles, and I would put like the bases level design a little bit lower than that. So I imagine those guys just getting tons and tons of feedback, and they're just gonna have to it's gonna be crazy. But it's all good, we love the feedback for sure. Yeah. It's all goes towards making the game better.
Well, in terms of seat swapping, I mean, it seems like the Liberator might be the only real vehicle that has a problem. I can see like Galaxies and Sunderers being great. The driver lands and just decides to hop in a gun, or the driver just hops in a machine gun while everyone piles out of a Sunderer, or even a tank. The tank, if he's going to swap, he's got to stand still. He's got to stop driving. So it seems like the Liberator might be the only one.
I think that's the intended design or the intended gameplay we want. We want people to fill up their vehicle. We don't want people to leave a slot open and then start switching like that, because that's not how we want people to play our game. Like you should always want to have your slots filled. So people that just want to do that, I think that's where we try to tune them being able to do that. If that makes any sense. We definitely want people to fill their seats up,
Yeah, we were discussing, earlier in this week about, for the tanks like Vanguard, like sure you can hop in and you maybe have.
That would not be fun at all.
Did the audio cut out? I think the audio cut out for a second.
Yeah, I think John's audio cut out for a second.
Yeah.
Say that again, John.
With the main battle.
Hey, John. John, we're offline. Now we're live. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
We came back. With the main battle tanks, we have, if you want to, seat swap into the second position, to hop in an AA gun, but then you're sitting duck, so it's not a huge concern in that regards. So hopefully that's, I'm sure it'll work out.
Yeah, it'll be a huge advantage just having more than one person in a vehicle, I'm sure. I mean, it basically doubles your damage output in any given vehicle, I would imagine. So, roughly. And so I won't expect that to be a big deal.
So speaking of the video of Adam in that curse video, I believe it was, playing around, you seem to be owning pretty well there, Adam, with the light assault or the TR engineer. I mean, I know you're using fine TR weaponry, and that's not the reason that you were owning, because
I have a little secret behind the curtains. There were other guys the QA team that were trying to miss me.
Oh, I see.
So you don't want to kill the guy who's showing the demo, because everyone who's watching doesn't get any entertainment.
So is that why Higbee always appears to be so good?
Oh, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. We're at both NC, so I don't get to fight against them. But yeah, that was definitely getting some assisted gameplay there.
Awesome.
I don't think that Cliff was trying to miss you though. You did pretty well navigating that one.
Oh yeah, no, the Cliff always tries to get me.
Just reaches out there, grabs you.
So who on the dev team is who would you say is the best player overall?
Ooh, that's debatable. Okay, so here's how I think it usually goes. So the designers always think they're the best, because they're like, oh, we're designers, we play video games all the time, yada. And then you have artists, programmers that are like, hey, we play video games all the time, Like, we're not shabby either. And then so you have this constant struggle between the designers, the artists, and the programmers, all vying for who's the best at the game. So I don't think we have like a number one guy where we're always like, oh, that guy is like the best at our game right now. We have guys that are like, don't play this guy in Battlefield because he will destroy you. But in our game, I don't think we've actually figured out, the right ways to approach stuff like that yet. Just with us, because we need to play the game more, So I think it's different every time. Somebody finds a new strategy, somebody gets higher up on the leaderboard, and the next thing you know, another guy is up there. So.
Oh,
Gotcha.
very cool. So we had another topic of the pulsar sounds. This is something that sprung up on PSU. I thought it was amusing because we had talked about it prior to it springing up, which is the pulsar sounds like cardboard, apparently, or someone tapping cardboard.
Mm.
What do you think about that, Eric?
It definitely doesn't sound correct, but I think a lot of the sound design is probably in the works, and I trust Rodney because reading a lot of his posts on PSU, he definitely knows what the game needs, and apparently the music is coming along really well. So I mean, you have to hold off judgment for that kind of thing, and I'm sure there'll be like a big PR push on that kind of thing in the coming sometime soon. But yeah.
Yeah, when I looked at I thought about the cycler from PS1 and the pulsar from PS1 because I thought that was actually opposite of what the poster said. When you fire a cycler in PlanetSide 1, it sounds like you're firing two shots, and when you just fire that thing, it just sounds like it's spitting out bullets as fast as can be. And it just feels like a great weapon in PS1. And I didn't get that when I fired the pulsar in PS1. It kind of felt like it was a flashlight, or maybe that was the intent. It's kind of like lasers, pew pew. But I didn't get the feeling like it sounded powerful. And when I heard the pulsar in the E3 videos from PS2, it really felt like it had a lot more weight to it, a lot more beefiness. It didn't sound like a pushover weapon anymore. And I kind of like that a lot, actually.
It might just be nostalgia that's colored me, but I don't find much of a problem with the weapon sounds in PS1.
Yeah,
But mostly because I've been playing it so long.
yeah, I don't know anything about playing VS, so.
Well, in PS2, there's definitely a shout out needs to be given to the audio guys because they've been doing some awesome work. We get updates a lot on different sounds that they have coming in, and all the sound effects they're doing are really good. So I've been really impressed with how the game sounds, and just even one more layer of sound gets added. It's like we play in another playtest, and you hear another layer of sound being added, and then another layer of sound, and you notice it every single time, and it just makes the game brings a lot more immersion to the game, and it feels a lot better.
Yeah. Also on sound design, there's that random comm chatter in some of the videos. I'm not sure how much. I know a few people were having a fit about that on the forums as well.
Made it
And again,
feel
what's
good.
new there?
So let's move on to you tell us about when you were designing the biolab, what kind of gameplay? Well, obviously, it's infantry based, but like what kind of thought process do you go through when designing something like that?
Well, first, we knew we wanted a superstructure that was in the air. And so it was me and a couple other environment designers with a couple artists talking about what we wanted. And at first we wanted a Space Needle type of thing like you see in Seattle. And we figured that would be just a little too high, a little bit too hard to pull off. So we had our artists make us that superstructure dome that you see now that looks awesome. And we're like, okay, this is good. We can work with this. I think this is what we want to do. And so I had that much play space, basically. I had this empty plate, and they're like, okay, fill it with, buildings, make it feel like an infantry map. And so I basically went into this other zone that we have called Designer Island, where you can just basically make that pie of terrain and then start placing buildings on top of it. And I just made like 5 or 6 or 7, however many revisions, and just kept talking with the other level design guys that we have and showing them, and then remaking it and showing them and remaking it, and until you see what we have now. But there's definitely been a ton of work that's been put into that biolab from the designers and the artists.
Personally, I'm probably going to be staying out of it as a sniper, I feel like, well, I guess I haven't seen it yet, but I feel like there's probably a little cramped for myself, but I'm sure there will be plenty of up-close firefights in there.
So what all were you going for gameplay-wise at the Biolab?
So we wanted it to be a place where infantry could just fight each other and not have to worry about outside tank shells and aircraft, since that's usually what happens in most of the other areas of the map. So that was the first thing we wanted to do. The second thing we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure it was easily accessible. So we have the 2 air pads on the side where you come in. We also have different teleporter spots that you go into from the inside, as well as straight up through the middle. So we wanted it to be accessible as well as protected from the vehicles. And we definitely wanted to put a lot of capture points in there. So if you notice, like Zervan has 1 capture point in the middle, and the rest of them are around the bases and the satellite outposts around the outside. With the Biolab, we have like 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 capture points just in the center there. So we really wanted to emphasize, like, hey, if you're going after a Biolab, you need to be ready with infantry and you need to get in there and secure each section. So
Very cool. It kind of looked like it might be a place where light assault could really shine, given that you don't have to worry about heavy vehicles very much, and
yeah,
seem to be
definitely.
multi-level.
Yeah, light assaults really do well there. Like you said, like you were saying before, snipers aren't the best class to play inside the Biolab, but yeah, light assault really do well. They can jump jet up onto the rocks or on top of the buildings and really take advantage of that.
Looks like also that you're going to be able to fit a different style, like, because it seemed like it was some kind of, in the video, it was like a desert biolab, and yet there was a jungle inside the dome, and so you'll be able to experience different environments through that. That's a really cool feature. I love that.
Yeah, so one of the earlier revisions were we decided to make the whole biolab really overgrown and kind of taken over by all of this lush brush and ivy and trees and things like that. And when I made it like that and we play tested it, I would say 95% of the people were just completely confused. They didn't know where to go, what was going on, what was happening, because every single part of the biolab looked exactly the same. So we kind of took a step back and we worked with the artists and we said, okay, let's make it kind of like, think of like Disneyland, where you look to the left and there's Tomorrowland, and you look to the right and there's Adventureland, and you know as soon as you look at it where you're going and where you are. And so that's kind of what we did. We have the overgrowth section, and when we have the rocky section, and then we have like the corporate research lab section, and it completely changed the playtest. People weren't confused anymore. They liked it a lot better. They knew where they were going. They knew where they were as soon as they spawned in. So I think that what we have now is working out pretty well as far as people being oriented of where they are, things like that.
Very cool.
Are we gonna? I know they mentioned how, like, when you're fighting in the different bases, they're not going to be the same each time. Can we expect to see like different biomes within each biolab, or is that not something? Like with bio.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I personally always wanted to do that. I think it's just I think with how much playtesting and how much time you need for each inner area for it to work the way this one works now is just a lot of work. So that doesn't mean we can't move capture points around. So let's say at Aladdin, which is one of the biolabs, there's 3 capture points, and one's up here and one's by the lush area and one's in the rocks. That doesn't mean at another biolab we can't move those around, and so you have to actually go to different parts of the biolab. As far as what's happening outside of the dome and everything underneath it, every single one of those biolabs is different. That's where we really make all of them feel unique. So when it comes to just the superstructure itself, it's probably going to stay how it is right now. But when it's outside of the dome, everything around it's very unique, and all of them play differently, and they all have different capture points in different areas too.
Yeah, very, very, very cool. So, what other areas have you designed in PlanetSide 2 other than the biolab that you can tell us about?
Just all those outposts. We have tons of small and large outposts, and any time that I wasn't working on the biolab, I was working on building these small and large outposts. One of the ones that I did. Sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, carry on.
Okay. So one of the things that happens with us is there's like 4 or 5 of us, and we get tasked. You get this section of the map, you get this section of the map, and we kind of just go in there and we make the outposts and remake them and retest them, just like we do with our facilities. We're playtesting these outposts all the time too. So that's basically just what I've been doing.
Very, very cool. So there's also a very interesting part of Indar that seems to have a lot of history to it, and that would be Zervan Amp Station. I don't know if Hax can throw up a picture of Zervan from October.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta grab it real quick. You keep talking.
Just to show you guys the evolution of Zervan over time.
Yeah, that really old screenshot where like the
Yeah.
textures weren't even done, and we were like, "That looks great."
Yeah, we're like, that looks awesome. And I think T-Ray tweeted this, like last October sometime.
The one from
It's got the mosquito on the front of it.
oh, okay. I think this is it. That one?
Yes,
Oh,
that one right there. So if you take a look at that that great screenshot, I mean, it looks very much like a PS1 base. If you, of course, played PlanetSide 1, like it kind of looks like a dropship center way. You got the walls, you've got the front gate, you've got the catwalks. Except for some interior buildings they added, it looks very, very much like a classic PlanetSide base. And then if you look at it currently in one of the other screenshots, like a Liberator's bird eye view. Yeah, one of the more recent views. Like it's entirely different. Like it doesn't even look like the same base almost, other than the like maybe the central spire that's there. Can you Adam? Can you talk about like how you arrived or how you went from like old school PS1 base design to the current iteration?
Yeah, so that first image that you see of Zervan was really early development of our game. We kind of just said, okay, we need to make a base. We want to show off the game, and we want it to resemble PlanetSide. So we looked at PlanetSide 1, and we said, okay, let's take one of these bases. I mean, that's the only thing we have to look at, right? So let's take one of these bases, let's make it feel and look like PlanetSide 1, and give everybody kind of an idea of what we're trying to do. I guess that's more of what it was. We wanted people to see that we were trying to pull off, kind of another PlanetSide and make it feel like the original PlanetSide. Once we started playtesting these bases, we definitely wanted to, I guess, give it a more open feel because we didn't want vehicles to be so restricted with these walls. They are at every single base, like they were in PlanetSide 1. In PlanetSide 2, every single base is different. So just because that Zervan that you see isn't like that anymore doesn't mean another base doesn't have walls. There are other bases that do have facility walls like that. We just wanted to make sure that each base felt different. And as we were playtesting Zervan, the way the area is around it, the walls just didn't work. So we stripped a lot of that away, and we made it more hilly and rocky, and it works a lot better now. Specific to that area,
Do you think the current version sort of feels about right for what you're going for?
Yeah, I think so. I think that we've been playtesting it a lot. I think that it feels good right now. If you talk to Matt, he'll tell you that there's always some fine tuning you can do. There's always something you can do to make it better. But I think right now we definitely have our bases in a spot that we like them, and now we're just wanting people to test them now.
believe me, we very much want to test them as well.
I don't believe
No
you guys.
shortage.
I don't know. Do you guys really want to test it? I'm not sure.
Just have everyone tweet you, "Yeah, we want it."
Yeah. So when you're making like the outside areas, like these smaller outposts that you talked about, what kind of gameplay were you going for those? What kind of things do you think about like when you're creating those little smaller outposts?
So there's actually 3 different kinds. I'll talk about each one. The first one are the satellite outposts that are near the bases. So when we made our first base that had that old Zervan look, you had hundreds of players all going to one spot. that happened a lot in PlanetSide 1. Everybody just goes to that one spot, and it gets really crowded, and these choke points are really hard to get past. So we wanted to spread the fight out a little more. With 2,000 players on PlanetSide 2, that's more than twice as much as people were playing in PlanetSide 1. So we wanted to spread people out by putting the satellite outposts around the exterior of the bases that still control the base. So if you want to take Zervan, you have to not only control the center, but you have to control these satellite outposts as well. And that helped out a lot. That really spread the fight out. That made it so you didn't have 1,000 people in one little tiny thing. If you can imagine 1,000 people all trying to go for one capture point, it just doesn't work. So those are the satellite outposts. Beyond the facilities, you have small outposts. And these are the things that help you gain influence on the facility. So if I take all of the small outposts around a base, that's going to help me take the base when I try to capture it. It's going to give me influence on that base. And then beyond that are the large outposts. And the large outposts are the big vehicle spawn areas and spawn points and things like that. So you don't have to always go back to the warp gate or to another base you own. You can go back to a large outpost that you own and pull your vehicles and respawn and regroup.
You guys have certainly put a lot of time into making sure that this is gonna be great for the players. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to make sure that all of the continent was capturable, not just 10 or 11 spots on the map. So
we just can't go near the water.
Yeah.
Oh, the water.
Man. Yeah,
Yep.
that was quite interesting on that cast. Are you gonna go with that though?
So
Did they get your phone?
what happened was, for people that don't know, is they wanted me to not cut since Higby didn't cut his hair till we started our letting external players in. I wasn't gonna. They wanted me to not cut my hair until we had water in the game, and so, I'm all for something like that. The problem is I'm a designer. I have no idea the technical limits of when water can come in, when it can come in. I have no control over the priority. If Higby really wanted to, he could be like, "Hey, let's get water in." No, let's push it down a little bit. Hey, Clegg is gonna grow his hair out a little bit more. So things like that, I have no control over. So what I did was I made a compromise, and I said that I wasn't going to cut my hair until we launched. So I'm going to keep that one. I haven't cut my hair, and I won't cut my hair until we launch. And so it's kind of like Higby didn't cut his hair until beta, so I won't cut my hair until launch.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
That was the compromise that we came up with.
Excellent. I like it.
Excellent.
I hope you keep like a running gallery every couple weeks so we can watch watch it throughout.
Right now it's really all forward, and there's actually a lot of hair here. If I push it all up, it kind of gets really big, like big afro.
I think you look good in a ponytail.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can get some kind of 80s, 90s rocker going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So what about the diversity of different areas of Indar? We know one part's a desert, one part's got canyons, and one part's sort of a foresty area. Is there certain types of gameplay are you going for each part of Indar that we've seen?
Yeah, so you've seen pretty much all three now. You know that one area is the canyons, another area is a highlands area, and a third area is the ocean bed, dry ocean bed area. And the dry ocean bed area is definitely going to be more vehicle-centric. Vehicles are going to dominate in that area. In the canyon area, that's like a sniper's heaven right now because they have so many tall angles and stuff like that. And then the highlands area is kind of more of like a mix and match, but it's more protected from air because there's a lot of trees. So it's harder for aircraft to kind of be really superior in that area. So we kind of made it so each thing in our game excels in each area on the map, depending on where the fight goes, which is another layer of how the fights all change. So if there's a biolab in the canyons, you're not going to fight it the same way as you fight the biolab in the highlands.
Doug, yep. It's awesome.
Yeah, very good.
Oh wow,
So,
that sounds really fun though. Can't wait to get started.
So are there any other facility types that you might be working on, like an interlink facility or a dropship center or something like that you can tell us about? You can just say hippopotamus if not.
No, I think we all want another facility. definitely internally. That's something that will come post-launch, and it's something that we're talking about now. What we're going to do next, I don't know what we're going to do next. But there are stuff like that in the talks. I mean, obviously, we're going to have more than 3 continents eventually. We're obviously going to have more than 3 bases eventually. So, yeah, it's definitely stuff that we definitely want to do. If you guys, post feedback, post in the forums, when we're eventually in beta or when we're eventually launched, we still want the community to be super active, especially on the forums. And we listen to you guys. We read the stuff you say. So you never know. Say you want an interlink, say you want dropship. You never know what happens.
You gotta be careful about that because you're gonna have like, a full page of add a dropship site.
Someone in chat is like, you should add oil rig facilities for naval combat.
Hey, that's not too bad. How about an underwater biodome? I mean, you can take the biolab and just put it underwater.
Oh yeah, perfect. Done. I don't know why didn't we just do that now?
And then you can cut your hair.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. So is there any viewer comments that we might have that are questions for Clegg that are sort of
related to level design?
Related to level design.
Shoot.
I'll look at the comments too.
Go through. That's moving quite
Oh yeah,
fast.
Phantasm guns. That was a good idea. Whoever was on the PS1 team for that nailed it.
It's a vehicle I'd like to see.
The original Phantasm had guns on it, huh? It was a cloaked gunship. Yeah, that didn't work out too well.
Didn't see that.
It was the ultimate anti-sniper tool because you would just sneak up behind it and pump them through.
Here's a good one from Invictus. Clegg, what is your favorite part when you're creating a particular section of a map?
I think my favorite part is you really start with nothing. It's like you have an empty canvas, and you turn all the floor off, and you turn all the existing objects off, and you kind of just do that thing where you just fly around for a little while and you kind of figure out what you want to do. I think the fact that we have so much freedom in making these outposts is really like a blessing for us because we're not really restricted very much. We're only restricted in the way of how many objects we can place because we don't want to hurt frame rate. But other than that, we can really go wild and build whatever we want, and that's been really cool. Being able to build these wacky, crazy things, and then having our leads come over and go, "Wait a minute, I don't think that's going to work," and then we'll play test it, and then it'll be like, "Oh, it does work," things like that. But yeah, definitely my favorite part has been how much freedom we have and how you just start with nothing, and then next thing you know, you have this really cool looking outpost.
That's cool. Got to be cool to kind of see that as it grows.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a couple of people asking, is there anything you can tell us about Esamir or Amarish? Is that still? We haven't seen much besides.
If you've been following my tweets, I've been working on them polishing those outposts like nonstop. I mean, we're really like pushing hard, because we want everyone in the game, and we want to just finish and get to that state where we can just play test and polish. But yeah, I've been working on Amrish. I've been working on Esamir. The whole environment team they're there right now, and I'm gonna go right back as soon as I'm done with this. So.
Okay. Well, I think that's all we have then. So you can get back to getting those ready.
Yeah.
You guys have any final comments, Clegg? You have anything you'd like to say, or?
No, just I just want to thank the community. I mean, I love you guys. You guys are awesome, really good fans. A lot of you guys hang out with me super late at night, keep me going. Sometimes the only connection I have with the outside world is that Twitter feed, and so when people talk to me, it's really fun. So yeah, just want to say a big thanks to the community, and thanks to you guys for bringing me on here, because without you guys, I wouldn't be here right now.
Thank you for coming on and making this possible.
Yeah, sure.
Very, very big thanks to you, Clegg, and give our thanks to the team as well for making our dream come true of a PlanetSide 2. It's a pipe dream, and now it's really happening. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was vaporware, right? And now it's here.
I don't think it's vaporware anymore. Thanks so much for coming on. It was great.
All right, and
my pleasure.
Just see everybody next time. You can follow me on Twitter at Hacks to get updates on when the next show would be. We're still kind of trying to work out the specific format. Make sure to follow Adam at Art Clegger, A.R. Clegger. Malorn, he hates social media. I don't know about Red Knights.
Social media.
So, all right. So see you guys next time.